woman, let's call her Bet. And Bet has a problem. One day, her adult son just disappears. Gone. No explanation. Her son, his name's Dexter. Dexter, he's 37. He's had some issues in the past, so he lives with his mom.
Hi, welcome.
And one day, Dexter's mom
What's
gets
your
into an
name?
argument over a broken window in the house. And Dexter gets so mad, he storms out. And Bet's like, all right, whatever, he'll cool off. And after a couple of days, Dexter hasn't called. He hasn't come home, and Bet starts to worry. So she tries to locate Dexter herself. She's like calling his friends and stuff, but after several days, no luck. So then she calls the police to report Dexter missing. But unfortunately, police don't have any leads. So weeks go by, and Bet continues to follow up with the police, but still, they got nothing. Then months go by, and Bet's hitting up the police. And this whole time, Bet's been looking for him on her own, too. Driving around neighborhoods, posting his photos all over her Facebook. And Bet is devastated. It's like this situation can't get any worse. Until. So this woman, let's call her Bet. And Bet has a problem. One day, her adult. So this woman pulls up to a Starbucks truck. So this turd, he's trying to get internet famous by poisoning a bunch of people. So this girl, and you know what? You're not gonna believe this story because I'm not sure if I believe this story. It is so this YouTuber is about to unalive his gay lover. Let me explain. Now his name is Daniel. He's 29. He's from Spain, and he's got a small cooking channel on YouTube. Meanwhile, all the way over in Colombia, there's this other guy, Edwin. Edwin's 44 and he's a successful plastic surgeon. He has multiple medical practices in different countries, and bro is making really good money. So one day, Edwin and Daniel, they discover each other on Instagram. And one of them slides into the other's DMs, and Edwin is much older than Daniel, but who cares? He thinks Daniel is fine. And I guess Daniel feels the same way about him. Because pretty soon, these two guys are chatting regularly. And they're flirting, and they're allegedly sending adult photos to one another. And most importantly, they're talking about meeting up in person. So they keep this relationship up for a. So this YouTuber is about to unalive his gay lover. Let me explain. Now, his name is Daniel. He's 29, he's from Spain, and he's got a small cooking channel on YouTube. This is Biggs. Like he's always checking to see who she's talking to. Like, who are you talking to? And sometimes he even takes her phone or her computer to like snoop on her. And Cecilia's friends, they start to notice that she's not happy around him. And they're like, girl, you need to meet this guy. And eventually she's like, you know what? You're right. And so she goes and she breaks the news to Mario that the relationship is just not working for her. And after about a year of dating, boom, she officially breaks up with him. And of course, Mario is devastated. He feels like he can't lose her. I mean, he could never do better than her. So he just refuses to accept her decision, and he refuses to move out of her place. He just keeps on living there. And then he kind of starts stalking her. And this is really scary for Cecilia. So she's like, fuck all this, and she leaves her own apartment. And she starts staying over at her friends' houses or crashing in hotels just to be away from him. And finally, after a period of doing all this, she's had enough of his weird stalkery behavior. And she gives him an ultimatum: get all your shit and get the hell out of my apartment or else. And Mario, he doesn't take this well. Like, he's not happy, but he's like, ugh, fine. And so he moves out, and everything seems to be finally resolved. No, it's not. At one point, Cecilia flies from Sydney to where her friend lives, all the way over in Perth. So she's visiting some friends, and when they see how worked up and anxious she is over the whole Mario situation, they're like, why didn't you report this weirdo to the police? And of course, Cecilia didn't report him to the police. Now, she definitely wants Mario out of her life, but she's also a really nice person. She's not vindictive enough to want to get him in trouble or get him deported back to Brazil, so she never reported him. But then she somehow learns that Mario just booked a flight back to Rio de Janeiro. So she thinks, sweet, he's finally moving away. He's going back to Rio. He'll be out of the country. And she finally, after a long while, feels safe enough to go back to her apartment. Here's the thing though, Mario has no intention of getting out of her life. In fact, he secretly went and had a spare key made to her place so that he can come back anytime he wants, with or without her permission. Now, here's where the story gets dark. At some point, Mario hits up Cecilia out of the blue and he tells her that he's leaving the country for good. He's going back to Brazil. And he asks her if she.
No, what the hell is that? Poop, poop, cry, hi, hi. This chat is not even. This chat. Guys, welcome. Tell me what your Saturday is like. Are you looking forward to Monday? Hi, Rohit. Nice to see you again. How's your day? How have you been? I haven't been live for 3 days because I got sick. And then today I was like, maybe I should just go live again today. How has your day been? Yeah, I'm just having coffee. Not tea. I'm actually having tea. Are you guys looking? Monday we have inauguration for President Trump. How are you guys doing? Any feelings about that? And then there's the protest of the United Healthcare. People are protesting about the United Healthcare. Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
And welcome to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a video of the podcast bro. The mics are out again, okay? So this podcast bro, these are grown men married. Let me take it back. Grown married men for years. One of them even said he has been married for 8 years. So this one of them asked the other one, "Do you love your wife?" And the other one said it with his full chest. "I don't love my wife." And the other one said it too. "I don't love my wife. I don't even know my wife after 8 years." Ladies, are you for hearing? These men are saying it out loud, and this is something we talk about a lot. And a lot of time, it's just the idea. And they went on to explain why they don't love their wife and why they think that love is an illusion and all that, and an illusion that has been made for women, for people in relationship to chase. Anyway, guys, let's go hear what this podcast bro has to say, people's response to it, and then we'll come back and talk more. But let me know what you think about what they said down in the comment section. Can't get off the subject. I gotta ask you a question. Are you in love with your wife? No, neither. What? I don't believe in that shit anyway. It's so okay. It's overrated. No. Listen, then why? Listen, okay. See. How do you explain that shit to me now?
Wow. So in America, they have this thing called passport bros, and it's when they go to a foreign country and they get a wife from a foreign country, not America. So they are called passport bros. And those men were saying they're not in love with their wives, and they're saying that is overrated. What do you think? what, do, what do you think? And today I'm home. I'm not feeling well. So I decided to go live. I don't have a particular topic. And so you can decide whatever topic you want to talk about. I don't care. I don't care. Whatever you want to talk about, drop on the comments below. I'm just suggesting. Yash, how are you? Today I'm not feeling well. Today I'm a little bit under the weather. I have been like in the last 3 days, and then I went to the store and this lady was also sick. The lady serving me at the store. And she was telling me there's something going on. Like there's a bug or a virus that's spreading. And when it starts spreading, it spreads fast around here. So I may have caught it from somebody, but I rarely even go out or do things outside. So I'm kind of even don't know where I got it from. It could be because of the smoke maybe coming from LA. Just because my nose is stuffy. Yeah, how are you, Yash? Oh, Yash says that today I'm looking gorgeous. Thanks. I'm just relaxing today because I haven't been feeling well, but I'm getting there, and it's cold. It's in the middle of the winter. Even here in California, it's cold. Like my feet are freezing. I need to put on my heater. So what are you guys doing? How's your life? We have inauguration on Monday. What do you feel about it? What do you think? Oh, is it not winter in India? Is it winter in India? You need some heat now. I know. Get some hot tea. I'm always like having hot tea. It's very cold. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes you just need the heat. So it's been cold, and then I have I don't know, like I sleep on one side of my neck, so I have like something here, like I can feel like there's a There's a kink right here on my neck, like something, like I feel that. It's not a lump, but it's kind of like a lump right here on my neck. But then my nose is also stuffy. And then there's something like a bug going around. It's really... Hi, Rickson. Rickson, where are you from? Rickson, where are you from? What, are you in California? I'm in California. Where are you from? Rickson from India. Oh, nice. I get a lot of people on my live cast from India. Yeah. Rickson says like, oh. So what are your dreams, goals 2025? Do you have any goals, your dreams? So yeah, for me, I have this channel here, Post-Traumatic Bliss. I help people with overcome trauma and also create a growth mindset. So that's what's happening in my life. Yeah. So I go live and try to talk to people about their growth mindset, where they're headed in life. I'm not looking for a husband, Yash. Not at this time. Oh, yeah. And what kind of story has inspired you in this, like, in the last 2 years? What is the one story? I'm I'm not I'm not looking for a husband or a partner at this time. No. I have a business that I'm focused on. I'm growing the business. Yeah. About helping people with mindset. I think more than anything, mindset can help you more than anything. It's the mindset, you know. Um, I help people with mindset, creating um, a winning mindset, creating a winning mindset, you know. And for me, yes, creating a creative winning mindset in life is one of the best things that I think the most underrated skills in life. Because to get from where you are to where you want to go at any day, something has to shift in somebody's mindset. No, I'm not married. I'm not looking to get married right now. No, I'm not married. I'm not looking to get married. Yes. So yeah, let me know what we can talk about, things that you want to talk about. If you want to talk about mindset. So my relationship goals is that I like having friends. My clients are my friends. Like the people that I work with, those are the people that I want to help. Those are the relationships that I want to prioritize at this point in my life. You know, the people that I am meant to impact in my life, those are the people that I want to focus on. Yes, because I feel like at the end of the day, when all is said and done, it's the people that you impact in life that actually matter. Yeah. What about you, Rickson? What are your goals? What are your financial goals? What are your relationship goals? And how are you, what kind of strategy are you using to build your mindset and work your way up to, the kind of person that you hope to be in the next 10 years? Yeah, if you haven't subscribed to my channel's name is Post Traumatic Bliss. This is my channel, Post Traumatic Bliss. And I have lots of videos there. I have lots and lots of videos that can impact you, that can help you with a growth mindset, especially if you want to move to places like the US. Your mindset needs to be very Rickson says, yep, babe, set my goals for the next 3 years to build up my financials as of now. Exactly. And so, Rickson, what are the books that you're reading about? What are the books that you're reading to help you understand the financial world even more? Like, who are the top influencers like you're following? Maybe the people you like to listen to about finances. By Guy Kawasaki. I love that book. I read that book. I've read that book by Guy Kawasaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know. Yeah, and he has the 4 quadrants that he puts people in, the investor, the business owner, the employee, and there's somebody who is yes, he has the past dad and his second dad, and he's a good storyteller. I mean, he makes it simple and clear that it's good to be an investor at the end of it. Yeah, I also read the Little Red Book of Investing, and then Bogleheads, um, and then there is this book, uh, Living from Check to Monday. Uh-huh. Bye, Yash. Everyone say bye to Yash. Seems like he's leaving. Yeah. So I think for me, one of the best books that I read was this on finances, was Check to Monday. And he was talking about how people get paid on Friday, and then on Monday they're still scrambling for bills. They don't have money, they don't have enough money because they paid all their bills and they're back to scrambling again. And then she was saying that when you get money, 10% you pay yourself. She was like, 10% of that money, regardless, before you have paid your bills or not, you put it away for your future, 10%. And then she started saying that then you pay your bills. And if your bills are not paid by then, let's say like the money wasn't enough and your bills are not paid, she says, well, then you start firing some people. Uh, so she said, like, you don't go buy coffee, you fire off somebody like the coffee person, or you fire off like luxury things that you don't need. You fire them people because you're the boss of your money. I thought that was solid advice. Yeah, what about work life in the US? To be honest, in the US, the work life here is kind of very unbalanced because people end up giving, like, let's say 70% of their work life to the employer, and then they are left with maybe 30% of their life, and then maybe 20% of that 30% will go to family and other commitments. And then people rarely have time to take care of themselves, forge relationships. A lot of people are lonely in the US. Loneliness is a pandemic. People report being depressed. And here in California, the working conditions, where I've worked, the working conditions have been decent, but not always. Uh, not always for some workers, but there's good working conditions here in the US, in California where I live. So that's a big blessing. Probably it's better. Oh, Pastor says, God bless you, beautiful queen. God bless you too. I don't know. Rix is saying, give them my number, I will contact them. Right now, actually, in the US, there is a white collar recession. So if you're working in places like accounting, human resource, all that, like there's a recession. Like people are not getting jobs. And it's been going on for the last 2 years. Like there are people who haven't had a job for the last 2 years. They just can't find a job. And so a lot of people, what they're having to do is they're having to get like 2 or 3 collar jobs, blue collar jobs, to make ends meet. And it's bad when the economy of the US is not in a good place. It drags so many other economies around the world. So I know when it's bad here, it's terrible in other places of the world. So me, I quit my job. I quit my job because I was getting sick, because my job was so stressful. It was very stressful. And I wasn't getting along with my manager. So I was like, let me get out of this. I don't like stress because I know what stress is the number one enemy, number one. And I know this. So I was like, I don't need to stay in survival mode and, kill myself with stress. So I left to follow my dreams, to do something better. Yeah, I left because at the end of the day, what I came to realize is this. Just like what, you've read that book, Poor Dad, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Like if you don't start doing something on your own, for me, I felt like there's one thing I cannot do is I cannot get my time back. If I spend my time in a cubicle, I will spend my time in a cubicle. And I can't go back. No matter how much money they give me, I cannot take that time back. So I will have missed out on things in my life, you know, building my own business, maybe traveling the world, meeting other people. And I was like, maybe that's not what I want to do with my life. I can try to do something else with my life. Like, you know, fun things, be creative, get a YouTube channel, share my story. Yeah, I'm 26. Yeah, so yeah, I feel like a lot of people are rushing to come to the US because there's this big hype, like, oh, come to the US, come to the US, come to the US. And I got the same hype, and I'm like, it's really not worth it. It's really not worth it. You can make your life anywhere you can in the world. As long as you understand, it's not, life is not just about making money, it's about creating beautiful relationships. It's about living free, being healthy, you know, and pursuing happiness. And happiness is pursued, you know. I do yoga because I want to have a healthy body. It doesn't matter if you're in the US and you don't have time to eat healthy because you're working, and then you end up eating all this unhealthy food. You end up like getting cancer. It's not even worth it. It's not worth it. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying that it's not okay to make sacrifices. I know some people make sacrifices, you know, like to live in a cubicle because they have bills and they have children to feed. They have mouths to feed. Those kids need to go to school. So they make the ultimate sacrifice. But I remember like my second job here in the US, I worked for this credit company called Experian. And I go there and I see all these like ladies, like older white ladies. They look like zombies, like they've been there for so many times, and they're overweight, they move slow. It's like, I'm like, what happened to your life? And you can tell that they they lived in a cubicle and they don't know anything else. What do you mean? I don't get your question. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, it goes like that. Life be like that. Like, wait a minute. So what are your plans for next week? What are you, Rick-san, what are you up to for the next week? Next week? Next week? What are you up to? Oh, I'm glad that you have a plan. You have a plan to work, then quit. Are you going to be married with kids by then? By the time you, I like that. You have your goals, your mind. I like that. You think further. You seem like you're a long-term thinker. You think long term. Leeds asking if I'm Ethiopian. Uh, I have so many people asking me if I'm Ethiopian. I'm Kenyan. Rickson is like, no, no marriage, nope. It's like everybody is really coming to, I feel like most people in the world are coming to the realization like kids, marriage. I mean, I like the fact that people can get marriage, and I think if you want to have kids, it's best to do it in a marriage. But do you guys think like sometimes marriage is a scam? Like marriage and having kids is kind of like a prison. Like once you're in that prison, like that's it. You had better move on. So I feel like a lot of young people are afraid of getting married. Ah, Rickson, now you're headed the wrong way. You're headed the wrong way. I think wanting so many girls and no marriage is being a short-term thinker. Yeah, I. Oh, you're just kidding. I was like, oh my goodness. You know, um, I feel that if you don't want marriage and you don't have kids, then just choose to be single. Like for me right now, it's like I'm not dating, I'm not seeing anybody, I'm concentrating on my business. I don't think it would be nice to be like, oh, I don't want to date anybody, I don't want to get married, but I want multiple partners. I don't. Yeah, so for me, I feel like the way we have come, a lot of people don't want to get married, or they are waiting to get married for some time in the future. And because I know a lot of people are not looking to get married right now, so I'm just working on my business, and the people who just don't want to. No, I don't want those cheap. See, that's the problem with me. Like, I don't want a cheap date. I don't want to go on a date with anybody who is not thinking about a long-term relationship already. And most people are not there, because a lot of people, they want intimacy without commitment, and I'm not there. Like, I'm not those kinds of people. So I let those people go and date each other and leave me out of it. Let me make my money. Let me make my money. I don't want all that nonsense. Yeah, because um, so as a mental health advocate, so this is the dilemma. Most people, if they don't grow up in a stable family, they will have a lot of mental health issues. And a lot of mental health problems are caused by parents who walk away from their children, parents who do not commit to look after their kids. They neglect them, they abandon them, they are not there. So, as a woman, I cannot go on cheap dates. I just cannot afford to go on cheap dates and have intimacy without commitment. Because if you had intimacy without commitment, what if you had a child and now you bring in another child who is going to be traumatized because their father is a deadbeat? They're not gonna be there. I cannot have that. I just cannot have that. So, I think it's up to men. Whenever they are ready for marriage, they look for somebody and they settle with, you know. But if I was a guy and I really needed intimacy, then I would commit and have one person and we can build a life together. Somebody that I can love, somebody that I can trust. Yeah. But again, it's very tough for guys too, because a lot of women, they don't want a man they can build up with. Yeah, so a lot of girls, they don't want somebody they can build up with. They want somebody who's already like cultivated himself and have employment and money. So a lot of men end up having to work for their goals before they get married. And that means like there'll be a lot of women who don't get married. And that's fine if I'm one of those people who are like single, don't get married. I think at this time it's good for a woman to be okay with, you can be by yourself, you can concentrate on your business, you can have other goals in life and be happy with that. For me, I don't want any, yeah, I don't want any short-term friendships. I don't want, like, yeah, I'm not like, if you want to be short-term person in my life, you're not going to make it, because I'm not interested in temporary relationships. See, for me, if you tell me to choose financial freedom or marriage, I'm going to choose financial freedom. Like, I'm right there with you. And plus, I don't want to bring a kid into the world, because yes, kids must have love and kids need money. That's the thing. They need love and they need money. I am able to give them love because I'm not going to be an asshole to my kid. I'm going to raise my child. But, they need money. You need to put them under a roof, feed them, they are growing, they need to eat good food, all these things. And I'm like, until that I am sure that I can do that flawlessly, then I don't need to have a husband, and I don't need to have, I don't want any temporary relationships. So dating is very difficult these days, because okay, the truth of the matter is, without money there should not be like, I don't think without money, I don't think men and women should even think about having children, to be honest. Kids need money, you know like, maybe as an adult you might afford to go a few days without food and drink water, nothing bad will happen to you. But a child is growing, a child is growing, and if they are growing, their body needs, proper nutrition, not just food, proper nutrition. Most parents, they are working, so they don't even know what kids are doing on the internet. They don't have time to figure out what their kid is doing on the internet. They might be there meeting serial killers and stuff. Most parents don't have the time because they're employed. They don't have the time you know to take care of that child mentally, physically, emotionally. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be in that trap. It feels like a trap. Like, once you start going, like, there's no way out of it. Like, this is not the happy life that I envisioned of a family life. Like, yeah. And I mean, I can have a partner. If I don't have enough money for a child, then I can have a partner. I can have a partner. But there has to be marriage if I have a partner. Because here's the thing. You live with somebody. If you're living with somebody, you will have to invest with them somehow. There are so many things that you're going to, like, if you're living with somebody and you're not married, just know that there's a lot of things that you're invested in. You might even buy property together, do business together. A lot of people, when they're not married and then they start splitting, because if you're not going to get married, that relationship is somehow going to end. Whatever, it's just going to end at some point, and people are going to split, you know and now you're not married, and now anybody can steal from anyone. If you're married and you're living together and investing in each other and you want to quit, then you have to involve the law. Like, i'll take I'll take the car, you'll take the house, Rickson is like, at least you get soul happiness. Oh, yeah, yeah. Rohit is like, life is like a sea. We are moving without an end. What remains is just the memories of some people who touched us as waves. I mean, so when it comes to marriages, everybody, I feel like when it comes to relationships, everybody is making a calculated risk. I feel like for a lot of men who have not been raised properly, they're looking to have sex without intimacy and get this I don't know what they're looking. It's like somebody trying to eat sugar and thinking they can get away with it. It's like a kid trying to get a taste of sugar and thinking they'll get away with just eating sugar without any consequences. And for me, those are the kind of men that I cannot deal with it. I cannot deal with it because with sex, if you're moving from one woman to another, there will be consequences. The quickest way to get diseases, like to get infected with something, is through intimacy. Yeah, and it has more consequences, worse consequences. That if people are out there carrying diseases in their bodies. They have viruses, they have bacteria, just got stuff going on. So, like, so if and we have come to the point where a lot of people, they are moving from one person to one another. Your neighbor, your pastor, everybody is hooking up with each other. So that means that diseases are spreading. I mean, when it comes to things like condoms, I don't even think that they work. To be honest, like the chances of, if you're doing like moving from one partner to one partner, a lot of people hate using a lot of people hate using condoms, and a lot of women are not assertive enough to always insist on that. And then there are people who don't care. They got infected by a disease, so they will not insist on using them because they are like, well, I already got it. Why not spread it around? But anyway, it's the environment that somebody who doesn't want to commit to one partner, they put themselves in that environment where they can potentially catch something, and that's why I'm like, no, I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Like, no, no, I would never want anything to do with somebody who is like, it's one thing, maybe I get to a point where I'm like, I don't want kids, but I want to get married and have a partner who probably also doesn't have kids. I think that's the next best thing. Then you can both work together, build a financial future, not go broke, and kind of live semi happily. Kids are the crowning of a good life, because kids are happy, they enrich your life somehow. But if you cannot afford them, that's fine. Rixa, I'm just telling the facts. Hey, I'm just saying the facts. Like you can't, unless you want to go out and risk your health to the rest of the world, you know, there's if you want a pleasurable life, it's going to be short. You know, if you want a life full of pleasure, just then understand that it's going to be a very short one, you know. And then there is the poverty that comes with having multiple partners, you know. There is obviously going to be poverty around it, because once you have a lot of multiple partners, you know what usually gets around, that this person is a hoe, blah 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 blah. You know, people start spreading that, and once you start having a bad name, like a negative name associated to your face, your finances will follow negativity. You know, they'll just kind of like follow that, because you, like, when people are not rare, like you're not something rare that people can admire and people can, you know, it all goes down. Well, you don't need to know that. You don't need, some of these questions that you're asking me, like, really, I'm 26. Yeah, so I mean, I think when we are young, we don't think about the long-term consequences of things. But if you have a good teacher or a good mentor, they're able to show you the long-term consequences of those actions. Yeah, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who really took a wrong turn in their life and they never recovered. You know, never quite recovered. Others, like, it took them like 10 years after they took a wrong turn in life. Yeah, but I know some people that, yeah, when we went to college with, they got diseases, you know. Well, you can't know everything. You can't. I'm rather private, even when I'm on the internet. No, just kind of like, yeah. Do I know anybody who got HIV? I actually don't think I know anyone with HIV. I know it's out there, but I don't know. Um, I just know like a lot of women who kind of like got pregnant, had kids, and the people that they were supposed to rely on, like take care of them, they moved on with their life and forgot the kids, because shockingly, some people can do that, you know, and now they're stuck in life having to take care of all these kids, because, you know, with that lifestyle, you attract people like that, people who don't have a conscience. You know, they can bring a human being in the world and not care about them, you know. Because you don't need to know this, because you're not going to marry me. we we are not going to get married or anything. I'm not getting your question. Yeah, so I mean, when you're dealing with people is I feel like when you're, especially when you're dating with people, like when you're in the dating world, it's good to understand other people's motives. it's good to understand some people's motives. Some people just want to be there for fun, short-term temporary relationships. And if you don't want that, then it's easy. You just don't let those kinds of people in your life. You know, I I think short-term temporary relationships, if we are attracted to short-term temporary relationships, that talks more about us than about other people who are not aware of the kind of person that we are in. There are some people, they want temporary relationships. They want people who will just help them get to the other step in their life or have pleasure. And if you're not aware of these kinds of people, or that they exist, or that people can intentionally mean to harm you, it can be very disappointing. It can be very disappointing because these girls, they ended up falling in love with the wrong people. They thought it was love, but these people were there you know for temporary gain, temporary friendships. Got to be careful. So, Rickson, I know you kind of, what are the signs that somebody wants to be in a temporary relationship? What are the warning signs do you think that these kind of people show, like red flags? Oh, thank you. I've had people comment about my eyes. I think I know I never thought that I had like these beautiful eyes until recently that people started talking about my eyes. Oh, thank you. Rickson. You said you're 26, right? 26 is not a child. I think the best, if you can think more like a grown up at 26, you're able to build a good life quickly. Like thinking like a 26-year-old is the quickest way not to go ahead of your time. I guess. I guess. But man, there are 26-year-old. If you think about like India, there are still 26-year-olds who have children, and maybe they have 2 or 3 kids. And when you're 26 and you have 3 kids, it's like you're now grown, you know? Because like those are kind of like real life problems. Yeah, yeah. We are lucky we don't have kids yet. Um, yeah, you get to cruise through life for a little bit when you don't have kids. I mean, I'm not, you can stay that way. Stay that way. Get a job, work on your financial dreams. It's like I'm not dating or anything. I'm just like, I'm okay, like working on my goals, my dreams. I'm fine. At this time in my life, I'm like, there's no rush. I have time. Put on the next 5 years, just grind, 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 grind it out, grind, you know. I like that. I like that you already have plans and you're working through the plan because I think at 26 and you already have a plan and you're working through that plan, you're way ahead of so many people. Like a lot of people in 26, they're not thinking the way that we think. They are thinking just having fun for today, no, without no concept of tomorrow. And I think at 26 when you, well, I think if you a partner, I think life is serious for me. I think like life is very serious, especially when you start looking for a partner. Because if I have a partner right now and I'm not thinking about it being temporary, I'm thinking like I don't want temporary relationships. So I want a partner that I can write about on my diary, about how we did things, we are growing together, we are having a wonderful relationship, it's getting better and better, you know. And yeah, and so I don't want something temporary. So I don't think there's something that I want to rush in just for the sake of having pleasure. Again, I don't want to be driven by just pleasure in when I go into having a relationship, because at the end of the day, like life is not always pleasurable. If my partner got sick, I would have to be there through sickness and health. It's not like I'm going to bail on them if they get sick. So if I'm just there and my goal is to have pleasure, what if they had, like, they got sick and it was no longer pleasurable? Would I just bail? And you can just leave your partner. Yes, yeah, yeah. And it's worth investing in a true relationship than multiple temporary relationships. Just that me. That's how I view life. Like one true relationship is better than 10 temporary relationships, because I don't want temporary relationships with fake people in my life, you know, that can cost me so much and put me way years back, you know. Yeah, I want a life story that I can write about. Something that it's so beautiful that I can write about, something that I'm working on to make more beautiful and more beautiful. I think those are the kind of stories that people write books about, people want to read about. Yeah, it's something that's real. I did a video on one of my videos. I did a story about this couple, Turia Pitt and Michael Hudson. This girl, she's an Australian woman. She got caught in a wildfire, and 60% of her body got burnt. And her boyfriend, he had not even proposed to her then. They were just boyfriend and girlfriend. He could have left. And like gotten another girl and started a new life. But he loved her, and he helped her through the recovery, proposed to her, and they have two beautiful children. Turia Pitt has recovered tremendously. She runs, she takes care of her body. I mean, there's so many things that she can't do. She still got like 70% of her body burnt. But that's the beauty of investing in a true relationship. any one of us can meet a very bad accident, or we can get sick, nothing like nothing, but when you have true relationships and true friendships, it means that no matter what, you're good. You still have people who love you and take care of you. And when you cannot see, or you cannot hear, or you cannot feed yourself, and you invested not in temporary relationships, you invested your time and effort in people who are worth investing in good relationships, that's why she's still alive today. She's still alive because she chose a good man who was not just interested in her because of her body or sex. You know, she invested in a man who was true to his love and what he meant, and he helped her recover, still takes care of her and their children. And, life has consequences. you choose you choose the hill you want to die on. If you want to die on the hill of true friendships, or you want to die on the hill of temporary relationships, you choose your poison. You choose what you want. Rohit says he doesn't want to commit because of maintaining financial health. But I'm telling you, you're thinking it in reverse. You're thinking it in reverse. When you have a long-term partner right now and you commit, I know people who got married when they were in their like very young, like 20s, and in their 40s they retired because their kids are grown. They were able to manage themselves well financially, and now their kids are grown. They already have a home and they can retire. And young people who get it, when you're young, nobody expects you to live the life of a CEO, because everybody knows you're young, you're hustling. Even your kids don't expect a lot of things, like expensive things. They just want you to show up. So you can still like raise a family on a relatively low budget, and then you hit like your 40s, and your kids are kind of almost in their 20s, and they are ready to get out of the house. And now from your 40s to your maybe your 50s, the kids are going to college and you're almost planning your retirement. It can still work. It can still work. But if you get a good partner, somebody who also is like-minded, somebody who thinks ahead, I've seen it work. I've seen it work. You don't have to always have like the best house for your kids or this mansion. Like those things can come later in the years ahead. But you prioritize your happiness, because living alone is also not living alone is not all that it's cut out for. I mean, I moved to the US, I live by myself, and it would be better if I didn't have to live by myself, if I had a family or if I had other people around me. I definitely think that would help, enrich my life. And there is relationships enrich our lives more than money. Yeah, I still think 32 is a good time to get married, honestly. Yeah, 32. I think 32 is way better time to get married than 26, and that's what I'm saying. Okay, right now we do have time. That's fine. Yeah. And, and I think it also, you can talk to a lot of couples and figure out how they are making it in their 30s, how they are starting their families, all that. Yeah. But a lot of people, even in their 30s, have not graduated, or you know, they have still not started businesses. Yeah. So Rickson, like, I think you're thinking way like ahead, because at the end of the day, that's true. Once you're financially set, it's a really good 100%. You know, once you're financially set, you can have a family, and then you don't have to worry so much about, you know, raising kids in poverty and not giving them, especially their basic needs. Like a lot of us, we don't think that way. So yeah, for me, I chose like not to have kids at this time. It's just easier. It's just easier. Hmm. You have to buy pampers if you have children. You have to do all those things, and yeah, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be prepared. You gotta be prepared to do all those things for your child. And honestly, if there was money and I had like lots of money, who better to spend it on than my child? Yeah, me that I would not, that line that you just wrote, I would not encourage you bit, one bit, because there are consequences. If you accidentally get a woman pregnant, their family are going to come after that. You know, your family is going to come after that. And personally, if a man gets like a woman pregnant, I am not willing personally to take care of another man's children at all. It's just something you have to remember. You might in the future meet the woman that you want to marry, and then she realizes that you accidentally had a child with somebody else, and she does not want to get mixed up with, yeah, everybody says that, and then they end up being a parent or dad. Yeah. Yeah, and also like for men, you think like you're having fun with somebody, but most women are not built to just have random sex with random people. I mean, if you're going to pay for sex to a prostitute, then I get that. But most women, when they are getting intimate, they think this is a relationship. So you're lying. If you're upfront with the women and you're telling them, hey, I just want this short term and upfront, you're not lying to anybody. You're going there telling them this is something temporary. And they say yes, fine, go ahead and do that. And see how many women are actually willing to have intimacy without commitment. Because I'm not willing to have intimacy without commitment. I think women who are trying to give people like you a good time are stupid. Yeah. And that's why I feel like for a guy, honestly, I think for a guy, if I was a man and I wasn't financially secure to have a family, I would get a girl that I'm willing to have a commitment to, marry her. But we don't have to have a family immediately. We save money, we build a life together, because at the end of the day, it's better to build the two of you than by yourself. You don't have children immediately. You stay together, you build, you build a business, you build income, and then when she's ready to have children, then she can be a stay-home woman, and then you can continue with the business. That way you move faster together. That will help you with two things. First, you will not get a gold digger. You will not get a gold digger who actually doesn't love you. Because a lot of men wait until they have all this money and all that wealth, and they realize they can't even realize a girl who loves them for who they are and the one who just wants money. So if you invest in a good relationship when you're younger, you're more likely to get a woman who actually love you. Exactly. Yeah. And then add a condition. Hey, let's just wait until I'm 32 and then we can have children, because then I'll be able to take care of you and you can stay home. But together you can build, and then you will have a woman, you know, whom you've committed to. If you want intimacy and somebody to love you, regularly, then you will have intimacy. And believe me, I think it's better for a man to have one woman whom he's intimate with than chasing around all these other women. Like, that puts your mindset in a temporary, short-term thinking position, because now you're chasing after pleasure instead of chasing after your goals in life. Because sex is like sugar, and if you're just having pleasure from different places, it will make you think short-term goals. It will drive you, oh, what's the next woman, what's the next woman, what's the next woman, what's the next woman. And guess what those women cost? They cost money. No woman is going to be like around a man who just wants her for pleasure and moves to another woman. And so you're chasing after the lowest of women if you're looking to just have fun. You're just looking at the lowest of women who don't have goals. It's true. It's true though. um, yeah. So I think having one smart woman on your corner who can help you build, and then you can have a family later, and then that's going to be, for me, that's what I would do strategically as a man. That's what I'd do. We are worlds apart. We are worlds apart. Trust me. We are worlds apart. Anyway, I think I need to go for a walk now. What are you planning for the evening? I think you can concentrate on women who are closer. I'm going to go for a walk and then get some sun. It's been so cold out here. It's 12:30 a.m. Here it's 11 a.m. So you guys are like, what, 11 hours ahead of us? Or 10 and a half hours ahead? Yeah, you're 11 hours ahead. Well, I gotta go at least get some sun. And you need to sleep. Yeah, you're early. You're ahead of time. We are behind. Yeah. Oh, it was nice having you. I'll see you. I usually go live almost sometimes almost every day, but I don't know. I got sick this week, so I wasn't able to go live a few days. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's in terms of time. You're early. Your time zone is early. You're on the longitude. I think the longitude that's ahead of time. So if you come here, you gain hours. You gain hours in your life. And if I come to India, I lose time. Yeah, it was so confusing because I come from Africa and we are at the equator and we never change time. Like here in America, they have like 4 different time zones. And when I came here, so I'm on a Pacific time zone and I was working with a company that has like different offices, multiples, and they're in a different time zone. And it was so confusing for me. I was like, this client is in my mountain time. This other one is different Eastern time. I was like, this other one is mountain time. I was like, I don't want to have to deal with this because because sometimes you call them and you're like, it's their offices are already closed. Or they want to call you so early in the morning. I'm like, no. No, I'm not saying I will not come there. Of course, I like traveling. My friend Shai, she's actually visited India like 3 times and she loves it. She especially loves the Indian food. Ooh. She says the Indian food in India is way much better than the Indian food here. You say Indian, nothing is there? There's so many Indians like in the US and also in Kenya where I come from. Yeah, it's the US currency. The US economy is, people are thinking the US economy is on the brink of collapse. Like but it's going to go down, so it's taking other currencies down. So it's not really India. India is a strong economy, but the US economy, yeah, they're playing politics to keep this economy afloat, but I think it's just going to go down. Yeah, but I think one thing that you can do, like if you can, if you're able to invest, like open an investment account and put your money in the stock market, like in the US stock market, the US economy does well. So when you buy international like US stocks, your investment will do so well because their investments have been known to do well over time. So I don't know if you can buy like you can go and look for a Vanguard account. They do ask that you have a social security, a US social security. So Vanguard is good, Fidelity is also good, but maybe in the Indian stock exchange, yeah, their stocks have been known to do well over time. It's the US has been for the last, for the last 100 years, it has been the most strong economy in the world, and there is no reason that it should not continue being the strongest economy in the world unless there's politics involved, like the BRICS, they come in strong and they dethrone the dollar, stuff like that. Oh, they are charging. Okay, so when they charge, okay, so when you manage your own, account, if you can open like your own. Okay, so if you, let's say you ever come to the US, right? And for some reason you start working and you get your own social security card, like you get your own social security card, that it means that you can invest in the US economy, you can invest in their stock market. So don't get a financial advisor. Don't get a financial advisor, because then you will have to pay them fees, and you don't want to pay fees. So you open your own like Vanguard or Fidelity account and you buy your own stocks, and you will not pay anyone any fees, and all your investments and returns, they'll be managed by you, and every other return will be yours. But I would say either way, invest in the Indian stock market, because India is growing. No way India will like go backwards, so your money will still appreciate over time. Yeah, I read this book, the Little Red Book of Investments. Maybe you can find it in India or somewhere. And also Bago Heads. And he was saying like, you know how people buy stocks and then they sell, they buy, they sell, they buy, they sell. He said that that is a very short-term game, and investment is a long-term game. So he was like, buy a portfolio of stocks so that you are not looking every day to see, oh, this stock went up, this stock went down. You don't want to be in that survival mindset, because some people just buy Tesla, and obviously Tesla will do well one time and then it will crash the other day, do well then crash, and then they're like, their blood is pumping. Oh my god, I lost my stocks. But when you invest in a whole portfolio, diversified portfolio, it really doesn't move that much. And over time, a diversified portfolio that tracks something like the S&P 500 will do better than just Tesla. You don't like short term. Like, girls, I don't like anything short term either. I'm a long term thinker. I don't like anything short term. Everything I invest, including a healthy lifestyle, I'm doing this for the long term. That's why I go for walks. That's why I do yoga. I don't plan on stopping. I plan to do these things for the long term, because long term is where the game is at, right? With friendships, I don't do friendships that are temporary. What's the point? Like everything that I do, long term. That's the winning card right there, long term. Even stocks, you're holding them long term. That's the winning card. Yeah, like a healthy lifestyle is not just going to the gym, right? Even if you're not going to the gym, are you hiking, or doing your stretches in the afternoon or in the evening? Just, are you eating regularly, like picking the foods that are good for your body, listening to your body, kind of like, just like, I'm pursuing this healthiness as a lifestyle, strengthening my body as a lifestyle, and like making that long term, like there's no stopping, because that's the winning card. That's the winning card. Love, 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 love that. I love that. I love that. That's the ultimate. That's the winning card. Play that card over and over and over. It's the ultimate winning card. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world, Once you figure out that, it's like game over. Once you figure out that, it's like you'll see other people scrambling to like figure out life, and you're like, they haven't figured out that the only way you win. And look at anybody who has won in life, like somebody like Warren Buffett. His investment strategy is long term. He doesn't push money here, then move it over here, and then decide to like, oh, I'm going to divorce my wife and then do this, you know. They don't sabotage themselves like that. They stay focused, they stay the course, they stay the course. Everything for them that they're doing is long term. Even celebrities who still become relevant in their 60s, 80s, 90s, they stay in the game. They stay in the game long term. They never they never quit it, you know. uh, I mentioned The Intelligent Investor. That was written by him. Who? Benjamin Graham. Benjamin Graham. Okay, I'll look at that. Compound interest. Yeah. And yeah, and you see a lot of like wealthy families. They're surrounded by their grandchildren, their wives, their children, their grandchildren, and then you see like, oh, they are surrounded by this wealth. It's not just money, but they are surrounded by wealthy relationships. Um, and you can see their family, their strong family values, a true testament. They just didn't go after money. They went, yes, they did go after money, but they went after strong relationships, strong family relationships. They took care of their body. You know, they just don't invest in just like, oh, I'm just going to look for money. They go there with, I'm going to build an entire a wealthy lifestyle based on health, family values, uh, good business principles. like like they solidify their life, you know. Yeah. Like somebody like William and Kate, right? He chose a very beautiful wife, chose a very good, beautiful wife. And you know, he's not planning on divorcing her because now she has cancer. You know, he still wants to stay with her, you know, and help her throughout the process of, you know, of her treatment and everything. Yeah, and you realize, yeah, there are people who value like long-term things in life, you know. Friendships. Well, hey Joker. I'm the hottest granny, don't worry. Don't worry. How's your day? How's your Sunday going? How are you feeling about Monday? We have the inauguration of Donald Trump. It's a new era. Today we've been talking about long-term thinking. Well, you can do some things right, but yeah, money is the most important tool that we have. Like money, it's really the most important tool that we have. And you can see like all over the internet, everybody is looking for money, you know, whether it's CNN or Fox News or oil companies, Elon Musk. People are just wanting, you know, we need resources. Money is a good resource. It's a good resource, you know. And I think that's why when you that's why sometimes it's easier, like for example, to live in a developing country than here, because like here in America, money goes there is life here is expensive. You earn a little money, but then you just lose it as quickly as you got it. Bills. Bills. Like the other day, I was looking at my car because it's new, it's 2025, and I need to get a new car registration. And so they have me do a smog test, and a smog test costs like 90 something dollars, right? And then I have to do a registration for another $150. Just money that I'm giving to the government. And I'm like, this is just the car. This is just the beginning of the year, and already people have come and taken my money away. you know, 2020. Yeah, I'm like, dang it. Money is an important tool. Very important. We are almost incapacitated if we don't have money. Think about it. Hmm? Hi, Joka. Tell us what's going on in your life. 2025. I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. I've put some really nice stories to help with mindset, shifting mindset from short term to long term, understanding how stress can put you in a survival short term thinking mindset, and why why having high values, like being led by higher values in life, like moral good judgment, can make you a long-term thinker and achieve way much more than you bargained for in your life. A lot of people are not talking about this. They and we need dopamine, because dopamine is the motivation that we need to go on every day. Like, we need to have happiness in life, but true happiness comes from when you know that you're invested in a real life, not a short-term life. When you know that I'm surrounded by a real partner, I'm surrounded by a real business partner, like I'm surrounded by people who think long-term, good people with great judgment, then you can feel secure. If you're the kind of person who can hold somebody's hand in pursuit of a relationship, you're going to attract the same kind of people. For example, I don't smoke and I don't drink, right? And most of the time when I tell people that I don't smoke and I don't drink, and they smoke and they drink, they don't want to be a part of my circle. And for me, it's good riddance. Like, hey, now I'm surrounded by people who respect my boundaries and people who don't drink and smoke. And when you're the kind of person who values long-term relationships, it will be very hard for people who want short-term relationships to come and stay around your energy, because something about you will make them feel uncomfortable and they'll scatter, they'll go away. But if you're comfortable with short-term relationships, you're going to attract that, because people will come into your space and they'll feel at home. They'll feel at home. That's what you're going to get. And that is the truth of the law of attraction. Like attracts like. You attract the kind of energy that you have, that you're emitting. So it's very important to know that, so that you can decide your fate, instead of your fate being decided by the fact that you don't know. So you know that if I have higher values, like I can be trusted, I am trustworthy, I'll attract the same kind of people in my life. Then you be very, very careful. So if you kind of like, let's say you're like, oh, I just want a temporary relationship, a girlfriend. So you go to the clubs where people are drinking and smoking, and then you start getting attention from all these girls, right, who also are like clueless about where they're headed in life. They have no goals, you know, and you're thinking that this will somehow work out for you. It won't, you know, because you, it's just people like that. A messed up environment has a way of making things more messy, you know. So you end up being surrounded by these mediocre people, and soon before you know, your mind is taken to that low level of mediocrity. And then people wonder, how did this happen? I had so many goals, had a future, I know where's I headed. But you chose to be around mediocre people, you know, instead of choosing people who actually want to do the hard work. Well, yes, yeah. That yeah, this live, actually we can end this live stream here. I'm glad that you see, I'm glad that you learned something. I'm so glad that you learned something from this live stream. I have another lady that I mentor, and she has learned a lot, and she keeps telling me like, wow, I never even thought about changing my mindset that way. And you know, a winning mindset is easy to get, and I'm glad that that you're getting it. It's easy to get, you know, it's easy to get. And once you make that switch of being a winner and thinking long term and having higher values and moving that way and never looking back, that's when you know that, oh, I've made the switch. I've kind of like switched. And you can watch other videos that I have on my YouTube, like the last few videos. The more you hear about people with mindset, like mindset, people who know about mindset, the more you listen to them, the more you know, the more you feed your mind with the right mindset, and the more you get of this mindset, the further you move forward in life. The more the you might even end up, instead of like being married at 32, by 29 you may have already reached that point, and then you're like, okay, fine, I can get married at 29. Why? Because your mindset has switched, and you're feeling more confident about where you're headed and your goals and the things that your ability to make better decisions. And you're like, yeah, I can cut myself some time. And when you start cutting yourself time, and how precious time is, that when you're like, oh wow, you know, I cut myself some time just because I listened to this weird lady on the internet. You know. So, well, I'll end my live stream here. I think it's a nice place to end. And have a good night. I hope you have a great morning. It's already morning. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. So, good night, Rickson.